me pull out my notes here. All right, I got some notes.
You here
And
with us, Niles?
while we do that, don't forget this little information here, so that you can kind of follow along. So here's what some of the definitions that we'll be talking about. The biggest ones, some of those that have been following us before, those top ones are probably pretty easy to remember. But scheduling, this is when Ford schedules an order for a production date in the future months. So when we talk about, hey, they're scheduling for these weeks, or later we'll be talking about these months, that is where they're going to be getting that information. That's what we're talking about. And production date is when it's going to be scheduled, to the week or to the day. That's their scheduled day. That's the day Ford plans to build your vehicle, or start building your vehicle, I should say. And then allocations. This is where Ford, an order cannot be selected for scheduling without a dealer having an allocation. And dealer earns allocations. They get them from Ford according to Ford's system. May not always agree with that system, but that's how Ford does it, and we have to follow by those rules. So we'll talk more about that later. And then constraints. Constraints is maybe an option, or an option that may be in short supply or take longer to build, and for that reason is kind of constrained. And if it's constrained, it means there's actually more orders than what they can handle in a production cycle. And then capacity is what their production rate is for a certain motor, trim, or option. So as we talk about those, and then of course, job 1 and 2, we probably won't talk about much tonight, but then balance out, we will talk about that. That is, balance out is the end of production for either an option or for a completely model year. And so there's actually several models that are going to be finishing up production or balancing out this next month, really. All right, so let's talk about the Mustang, and I am going to highlight some stuff that somebody actually, these here that I use do say confidential, and I don't put them up on a screen or a website or a forum, because without telling you and explaining it, then that's not helpful to the community. So this several of these popped up on different forums, including like Mustang 1, Mustang 7G, Bronco 6G, and Maverick. And yes, I do go over this information with you, but I explain it as I go over it, which I think is the difference of why Ford doesn't want, like when they do webcasts, they say this is confidential information, do not share it on social media. It's because of people like that share the information without explaining anything. Ford knows about our live stream, and they don't have a problem with our live stream because we explain things. We're trying to help customers and explain what these things mean, and not just put it out there for them to try to figure out on their own, or start starting rumors and such like that. So let's start with the Mustang. Mustang is not scheduling this week. They do have of course, this is, I think this week and next week is still scheduling for the month of June, which for productions in August. So because of that, August, they are exhausted on commodities for the black painted roof, which is optional on the Night Pony package, as well as the optional 20-inch wheel. So until July's scheduling starts, those options won't probably get scheduled if you haven't ordered. And of course, we're not scheduling this week, but that would go for next week too. So, so yeah, I won't go over really too many. You can find this on Mustangs. I was going to actually show it on the screen. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do that because I don't want Ford mad at me. So anyway, I would say if anything's over capacity, it's the GT Performance package, excluding the Dark Horse. And then the Night Pony package. There's a lot of people that have that as well over capacity. Their capacity is only 8% on that package. But if you're getting the Bronze Appearance package, you're good to go. I mean, their capacity is only 5%, but very few orders have that option. So you probably shouldn't be constrained and should be able to get scheduled, especially since there's only 950 orders, retail orders, I should say, in the order bank. There'll be some stock ones too. So like for us, we don't have any retail orders left that aren't scheduled. So like this last week, we had 4 stock ones to get scheduled. So, again, a dealer has allocations. If they're out of retail orders, they can get stock orders scheduled instead. So we see that in a lot of models that have limited orders, like Mustang, for instance. So there you go. All right. Escape is going to do some scheduling this week. No stock scheduling. So all retail scheduling, it looks like. or no, it says no stock scheduling for the active or the ST line series. And ST line has 3 different series this year. So just keep that in mind. There you go. And then, so that there's the only constraint really, actually, look at that. That's the first time I've seen this. So actually the plug-in hybrid, they must have scheduled a bunch last week because the plug-in hybrid capacity is only 7%, but there's only 1% of the orders in the order bank with that option, with the plug-in hybrid trim. So that actually is really good. They've caught up on that. And so if you do have a plug-in order for an Escape, not bad at all. They have 1,364 orders in the order bank, retail orders again, in the order bank. So that's not too bad. I will say they're taking a little longer to get those shipped out, I think, to get those into dealers. Seems like anything coming out of Shelbyville, which is a lot of your Super Duties, anything coming out of Kentucky, seems for some reason it takes a little while to get those shipped out. Super Duty, Expedition, Escape is like that. Again, that'd be Corsair if you were a Lincoln dealer. So moving on. The Bronco Sport this week, they are scheduling. It does say cleanup scheduling. So I think that the Badlands, if you have a Badlands with that Badlands premium package, this is probably your last month to get scheduled before ending 23 model year, because it looks like I got some notes for next month. We'll talk about in just a little bit. And the Badlands premium package is it's not, I don't think they're going to schedule any for the balance out next month. So you would want to hopefully get that scheduled real soon. There's only 702 retail orders in the order bank. I got to make sure I say retail. There probably are some stock orders. We do have some stock ones in there, but there are a very limited number. There's only 702 retail orders in there. So maybe Ford shift that production at Hermosillo over to Maverick. Just a thought. It doesn't quite work like that, but anyway. All right. Other than that, the Copilot 360 Assist Plus package is over capacity. We'll say this, which is crazy with only 700 orders. Moonroof also is over capacity, and the trailer tow is over capacity as well. And I think part of that's because there's a couple packages that require the tow package to get that. So, so if you have that package, you're probably good. And then two-tone paint as well, because now we know the Outer Banks and the Badlands the two-tone paint is now optional. And so everybody wants that option. So Ford, you just will make it standard equipment, because it looks like to me a lot of people are choosing that option. So just go ahead and give it to us, right? So, all right. Moving on to Edge. So Edge is not scheduling this week. They said scheduled is full through August. So I think production for the startup was a very small run in August for 24. So I think they're ending 23 in that month and then starting the same month. So that's why they're already gotten those scheduled out. There's only 90 retail orders in the order bank currently for Edge. So that's not bad. And it looks like they don't actually have capacity numbers here. So there's a couple different commodities listed. But there's no capacities on them, so I'm not going to cover them. Moving on. Bronco is scheduled this week. So for those dealers that have allocations, a lot of them were used last week. I know all of ours were used last week. So probably not a lot of dealerships that have allocations, but there you go for that. Hey, just got a donation.
Yes.
So, want to tell us?
Steve P. says, thanks for the great info each week.
And we got a new member.
And we got a new member.
Frederick. I don't know if you can highlight them or not.
I actually can.
So, cool.
So I just have to get to them. So we got Frederick, a new member. Welcome to the crew. Don't forget to send me your info. And Steve P. sent us a donation. Thanks for the great info each week.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Does help out the channel. Yeah. All right. So talking about Bronco, it looks like it's going to be scheduling. Don't forget, you can't order a retail Raptor, a Heritage Edition or Heritage Limited Edition, or an Everglades, or a base, or a manual transmission. But anything else. So what's that leave? So the order banks are open for like the Black Diamond, the Big Bend, the Outer Banks, the Badlands, and the Wild Track. So those are still open. So, and there's currently about 20,700 orders, retail orders in the order bank for the Bronco right now. And this is the first time that the two-door hardtop has been even with the capacity. So there's 15% of the orders in the order bank that have the 2-door hardtop, and that's their capacity. So it's even right there. So that's good news. We actually did have two-doors last week get scheduled for us. And so now we have originally Ford told us, hey, you're only going to probably see 3. When they gave us our estimates, we now have 5. So we're over that estimate. So this is why we take more orders than what Ford estimates for us, is for that reason. So there's there's 2 people that are happy because we did end up taking those orders. Otherwise, we would have said, nope, sorry, we're done. And they wouldn't have got scheduled. But in this case, they did get scheduled, and they're going to get their Broncos. So that's why dealers might go a little over their estimate, is for that reason. So all right. And then just letting you know, I mean, if you see this graphic on those sites, that first column is a U.S. capacity. That is how many they plan in a production cycle, or what they're scheduling for. That's the percent of orders they could probably schedule. The other one, the retail U.S. order bank, that is how many orders currently that are unscheduled in the order bank. Not scheduled ones; those are unscheduled. So they have more Heritage Edition orders than what they plan to produce. Wildtrak is the same way; they're over on Wildtrak, but everything else is under. That's good to know there too. Let's see what else. Other hardtops. So they are over capacity on the 4-door hardtops, though. So that's the biggest constraint Ford told dealers right now. And then they are over capacity still on the Sasquatch and the Lux package, though. Anyway, there you go. Explorer. They are scheduling this week. That's a cleanup scheduling. So they could schedule some. I think we had some previewing this week. And there's only 1,249 orders and retail orders in the order bank. The only thing it looks like they're over capacity that they're concerned about right now is the moonroof. Moonroof is over just by a little bit. So, yeah. 23 Expedition is balancing out. So they are doing the last scheduling probably this week and next week for the rest of 2023 model year to finish that out. And then they'll start scheduling probably next month for the startup for 24. So the Forge Green and Ocean Blue is balanced out. So if you have those colors and you're unscheduled, you're going to need to switch colors, because those there are done. Also, moonroof is exhausted commodity, so they cannot do any more moonroofs right now. Looks like that may change next week, but probably not. And then also, rear seat entertainment will be removed from all orders and will not be eligible for scheduling for 23. So if you have the rear entertainment system, take that off your order so it can get scheduled, or you'll have to put in an order for a 24. So at this point, if you're unscheduled on a 23, I would have put in a 24 order if I were you. But shouldn't have an issue. There's only 762 orders, retail orders, that are unscheduled in the order bank. So, and most of those probably are still in there because of the dual exhaust, because 16%, which is I think the Stealth performance package, gets the dual exhaust, and maybe the Timberline, and maybe the Platinum too. Anyway, but they're over there. Their capacity is only 6.7%. Let's get that exactly there. Other than that, and the mahogany trim as well. You might think about, if you're okay with the black interior without the mahogany, going that route if you have a limited edition or limited trim, not limited edition. But all right, what's next? 23 Maverick is scheduling this week for those dealerships that have allocation. Congratulations to you. Not a little upset with that at all. No. Let's see. There's still 29,800 orders in the retail orders in the order bank right now. So still way over capacity. Of course, some people, they put this on the Maverick Truck Club as well. This is the ones I put on there. So 50% is their capacity for hybrid, which is pretty good. So it's a 50-50 between hybrid and gas, even though the sheet says 65. And only 17% of the orders are for the EcoBoost motor, and that would include the Tremor. So that's pretty low. And according to this, you'd think all of them could get scheduled the rest of the model year, but that is dependent on the dealership and getting allocations. Like if you have an EcoBoost order at McArthur, not all of our EcoBoosts are going to get scheduled. I can tell you that because I already know the number for next month, and is not going to happen. So anyway, and then other than that, of course, everything else is pretty much what they were last week. Nothing's really over capacity other than the XL trim. 31% of the orders in the order bank retail order bank is unscheduled, I should say, is XL, but the capacity is 25%, which is actually up from what it was prior month. So see how that can shift a little bit. So again, these are given to us on a weekly basis because that's for what they're scheduling for, and that's usually for that month. A lot of times for the year, it'll stay the same. But some months, if they like, I think there was a whole month that they didn't, or a couple of weeks where they didn't schedule it for XL trims at all. Well, that probably shifted for changing that. That's why the number's at 25% now instead of 15 was because they didn't schedule. Now they have the capacity to be able to do more of them, which I don't know why they'd say it's a capacity because the XL, other than the grill color is different and the wheels, maybe it's a wheel problem. I don't know, but everything else is going to be on that. That's going to be on an XLT. So, but anyway, interior, I guess
Mm-hmm.
could be different interior. Anyway, stay away from your bed covers, your bed extenders, all those
Accessories.
protective film, and yeah, do not keep that off your order if you want, unless you don't want a 23.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you leave those on there, you probably won't get a 23. The hitch is going to be better. We'll talk about that in just a little bit when we talk about July's scheduling. The hitch is getting better. So, but splash guards, stay away from those. Just don't do it. All right, Ranger. 24 Ranger is not scheduling. They have pushed that back. So I know on the Ranger forums, a lot of people said, I heard from my dealer that it's going to be September is when they're going to start. And I said, no, it's supposed to be August. And now it looks like it really could be September because according to the note here, it does say that scheduling will resume July 20th. So it does look like it'll probably be September build dates. So whoever said that, that was not information that Ford gave you, but good job because you predicted right. So anyway, there are no capacity issues yet. There's only 2,011 retail orders in the order bank. So not too bad. And also it does say on your Raptors, your Ranger Raptors, to remove the spare tire lock. So you need to remove that because that is not going to be available as a dealer installed option. So there you go. F-150 is scheduling this week for the week of July 24th. So they usually schedule about a month out. And they say they need hybrid motor and 3.5 EcoBoost orders. So they're looking for those types of orders. Also limited scheduling on moonroofs. So hopefully you guys don't have that. No additional heritage packages. So we'll see if that continues. They are producing the F-150 into November. So maybe Heritage will be available later, but at this point in time, if you want a Heritage, maybe look for a dealer lot like us. We have some. Limited 20-inch all-terrain, limited availability for the 20-inch all-terrain tires, as well as the 18-inch chrome appearance package wheel. No 17-inch all-season tires for your base XL two-wheel drive, and no black running boards. A lot of those are the same as they have been. Again, a lot of times you don't see those change from week to week within a month, but like when we talk about, and not this week, but the next week, we might see some of those change for the next production month. Let's see, what other constraints do we have? Currently, for trimmer, there's their capacity is 3%, and they only have about 2% orders in the order bank that are trimmer. So they are within that. And we actually have had pretty good luck of having some trimmers scheduled. So if you have a retail order on a trimmer, you probably could get it scheduled. Lariat Black Appearance Package is within capacity. The capacity is 3%. Platinum Black Appearance Package is 1%, as well as the STX Black Appearance Package is 1%, and then XLT Black Appearance Package is 5%. That's the only one that's over capacity is the XLT Black Appearance Package. So that could, if you have one of those, could take longer. There's about 2,793 retail orders in the order bank, not counting Raptor or Lightning. And I would probably stay away from your tonneau covers. There you go. Super Duty. 23 Super Duty. Okay, so they are scheduling this week for the week of July 24th. We do have, so they've had said exhausted scheduling on the King Ranch Platinum and Limited. So that means that this week they probably will not schedule for any of those trims. Also, exhausted availability on the F600 4x4 and the 4-corner strobe light system, and also on the gas engine XL standard heavy duty alternator. And then also on the black onyx interior, which is option 89B, as in Bravo. So if you might look at your interior trim, interior code, and if it's that one, then that probably won't get scheduled. And then your 450s and 550 dually two-wheel drives as well. So none of those will probably schedule this week. But we have some information. I think that'll be good information and good news for people that have a Super D order in for next month for July scheduling. So. And then see what other constraints we have. We're way over capacity on King Ranch Platinum Unlimiteds, but that could change, like I said, next month. They're within capacity on the Lariat and just a little over on the trimmer package. And then they are over on the standard diesel engine just by a little bit. Their capacity is 29%. So a third of all Super Ds built right now will have the standard 6.7 liter diesel engine. And then the high output is only 10% capacity, but there's 48% of the orders that have that one. So if you're okay, you might think about switching to that diesel engine if you want to get scheduled, the standard diesel, because that could really probably help you out. And then they're within capacity on the Godzilla engine. So let's see what else. Tonneau covers, take them off. Take that off. Spray and bed liner, if you have the optional one, take it off. It's not included in the package. If you have running boards, that's over capacity. Probably take that off. You can add that at your dealer. Cabin chassis are over capacity. They could take longer to get scheduled. And the Pro Trailer Backup Assist is way over capacity. Like 72% of the orders have that on there, and their capacity is only 20%. So there's 38,991 orders currently, retail orders in the order bank. So, and there's still, it amazes me, there's 1,600 orders still in Priority 99. So how that happened was at the beginning when the model year launched, there were some options that weren't available, and they told people to put those in Priority 99 till those become available. Those have now been available for a couple months, so dealers need to pay attention and move those into Priority 10s, and so they can get scheduled. So Transit Connect Van and Wagon is scheduling for the weeks of August. And they will continue to make the Transit Connect into like December. I believe this is again the last year for that. There are really no constraints on the Transit Connect. There's still 5,700 orders, Transit Connect orders in the order bank. So Transit is scheduling this week for the week of August 28th. They're way out on that. And the same constraints as last week. Sometimes I don't know if you guys want me to go over those, but limited availability for the 360-degree camera, power outlet, the 3.5 EcoBoost. They are telling people to get them to switch that motor. So if you have that motor 99G, good idea to switch that if you want to get scheduled. Also, limited availability for the trail package. So it doesn't mean not available. It's just very limited. So it'll be a smaller run. And then power sliding door as well. And then they do need eTransit orders. So if you're thinking about doing an eTransit, hey, maybe eTransit instead of regular transit, probably get it better. You probably get it faster. Not available for stock orders is the 360 camera, the high res camera, or the 3.5 EcoBoost. So for dealers that even if you have an allocation, you can't order those. And they are balanced out on some options, the same ones as last week that we talked about. And let's see, capacity. What are they over capacity on? Medium roof is over capacity. All the others for roof sizes are within capacity. So maybe think about going to the high roof or the low roof. Might help your order. That 3.5 liter engine is way over capacity. Let's see what else. And then the rear view camera that we talked about already. So pretty much the things we already talked about. And there's 16,900 transit orders still in the order bank that need to get scheduled. So retail orders. Mach-E. Mach-E is doing scheduling for the weeks of August 21st or the week of August 28th. This is limited quantity for the standard all-wheel drive battery, which started scheduling this week, or actually I think it started scheduling last week. And they just updated. The only thing over capacity is non-GT all-wheel drive. It's way over capacity. Of course, I think everybody wants an all-wheel drive on those. And then they are over capacity on the standard range battery, that new battery, which is crazy. So, hey, we got this new battery. But there's only 105 retail orders in the order bank. So they're going to focus on those retails first. So if you do have a retail order, then you'll probably be more likely to get scheduled. So I'm going to grab the shades.
Hmm?
Shades. It's got to come in.
Oh, yeah.
Kyle's. All right.
The questions about Maverick, we're getting there.
Questions about Maverick? Yeah, we're gonna talk about Maverick here in just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should save this information for next week. Um, coming up. So I do have some other information on scheduling. So we got our information this week on the scheduling for July. So that'd be July scheduling for usually August or September build dates. And so we do have some information I do want to share with you guys, and on that. And I'll just run through the models real quick to let you know. Now, just an FYI, even though next week is the start, July is what July 3rd is the start of next week. You will not next week will not be part of July scheduling. It'll probably be the week of the 10th. Just to kind of let people know that and be prepared for that. So when we talk about July scheduling, we're really talking about starting probably the week of the 10th, maybe even the week after that, which is when some of the order banks are going to open up. So so that's something to keep in mind, and we'll talk about some of the tips on that of whether or not you should put in an order or not. But so just so we have that in reference. So the 24 Mustang for July, some of the notes, they are going to be scheduling for September build date. So the weeks of 9/4 to 9/25. So pretty much they're going to schedule for 4 weeks. So pretty much the month of August or September, I should say. It does say retail only ordering restrictions are the Night Pony package, the 20-inch optional wheel, in the 50 GT performance package. So something for those that were wanting to put those in, still going to have issues with that, it looks like. Order banks are open for that. So I'm going to let you know as if order banks are open for these as well as we go through them. Now, 23 Mach-E order banks are open, and they are scheduling for the same weeks as Mustang, so the weeks in September. And it does say in here, all-wheel drive standard range battery on select and premium is available. So they plan to schedule for those and 4-week scheduling for that. Now, the Escape plug-in hybrid is not available for ordering, but the gas and hybrid still is open. If you're wanting to put in an order for 23 Escape, they are going to be produce scheduling for production weeks in September. Again, they go about a couple weeks out. And the only thing they mention in here is the active series is going to be controlled to 33% run. So they're going to try to limit the active series. That's still a third of every Escape built will be an active trim. So if you want a quick one, that would be the one you'd want to do there. And then Bronco, and we already talked about what order banks, what's open to order right now, and they still are. They are going to be scheduling for September build dates as well. 4-week production run. They said in here that the 2-door and hardtop remain the most impactful feature constraint. They also said stop build has been lifted on the Heritage production. And they also, the 4-door Heritage has it okay to buy as of June 21st, which was last week. And the 2-door okay to buy will be tomorrow. So starting tomorrow, they should be able to ship out those 2-door Heritage editions. So if you're looking for those. And it also mentions level 1 through 3 PEP packages standard with a 7-speaker audio beginning with July production. So that would be level 1 would be like a base. Level 2 would be a mid package probably, and level 3 would be your high package. Lux package will get that B&O. So, and then 23 Bronco Sport order banks are open up right now, and the 24 model year order bank will open up July 25th. So we do have that date confirmed, July 25th. And they are going to be scheduling for build out. So that means, or balance out. So that means that they are going to schedule this this next month, the month of July, for September and build dates in October through the week of October 9th. And so they are basically, that's a 7-week production run, they said. 7 weeks of production they're going to schedule next month. So they're going to finish that out. It does say in here, Badlands Premium Package is unavailable for July scheduling. So if you don't get yours scheduled, you just will wait and put in a 24 order because you're probably not going to get it. There is going to be a broadcast for Bronco Sport information on July 10th. So, so we'll get more information on that. 24 Edge order bank is open up. They are scheduling for September build dates. No other key notes there. 23 Explorer order banks are open, kind of. There's the hybrid, I believe, is closed with early balance out. And then they're scheduling for September build dates. It says no XLT regional control this month, which means, hey, you have an XLT, go for it. They're going to let you dealers put in as many orders as they want. Various ship constraints, and then early balance out for the, it does actually say FHEV, which I think is just a hybrid. Also, Atlas Blue, Jewel Red, and the rear seat entertainment are balanced out. So again, if you want those, too bad, so sad. All right, 23 Super Duty order banks are not opened. 24 order banks will open July 17th. So just a little known fact, we have 3 models that are probably our biggest models: F-150, Super Duty, Maverick. And Maverick and Super Duty opening the same day. Oops, just let that out of the bag. All right, so July 17th is when the order banks open up for the Super Duty. There will be a broadcast the week before that on July 10th to talk about Super Duty scheduling or Super Duty order banks. That means that next month, the month of July, they will be scheduling. This is the biggest I've seen. They will be scheduling for 13 weeks of production next month. So they're going to be scheduling for build weeks starting from July 31st through the weeks of October 27th. It depends on what it is and which plant it's at. That's 13 weeks of production. So they did say in here, total retail order bank is closed. Scheduling for King Ranch Platinum and Limited are going to be at its max starting in July. So no more, we've been seeing limited scheduling. We've been seeing exhausted scheduling. Not next month. Next month, you're going to see a lot of King Ranch Platinum and limited schedule. So if you have one of those, hold off just a couple more weeks. And then it says King Ranch and Platinums. Don't forget, you got to take off the multi-contoured seat option 91X. You got to put that removal on there. And then also the limited, you don't have to on that one. Also does say they're going to resume scheduling for adaptive headlight, the max recline seat, and the chassis dual wheel spare, the dually spare. So they're going to bring that out. So if you have a max recline seat or you took it off your order, put it back on. So it looks like they're going to resume scheduling for those. So I think that's some good news on Super Duty. Hopefully you guys feel the same way. That's why we put Super Duty on there. And the broadcast again, they're going to have a dual broadcast. That'll be, it's actually a recorded broadcast for July 10th will be for Bronco Sport and Super Duty. 23 Expedition is, of course, closed out. We actually have 24 order banks are now open up. And they're going to be scheduling. This is going to be the startup. July will be the startup for scheduling for the 2024 model year for Expedition. I have all the videos out already on those if you want to check those out. And that'll be for build weeks August 28th through September 25th. So it's going to be a 5-week that they're going to schedule for. And so there you go. Ranger 24 order bank is open, of course. They're going to be scheduling for September build dates. And already told you about the DIO on the spare tire lock option will not be available on the Raptor. So Maverick order bank opens up for 24 on July 17th. Actually was surprised by this. I really thought it would get delayed. They're going to do a broadcast this Friday. They moved it to Friday. And so again, link in the description if you wanted to see what all they talk about in that. I'll be going over it with you and such on Friday at 5:00 on this as an unlisted video. So you won't be able to find it on our channel. It won't be highlighted. If you go to our YouTube channel, you won't see it. You'll need that link. So make sure you check that community tab. But this month, July, they will be scheduling for build out or balance out. I don't know why I keep saying build out. Balance out. So they're going to be scheduling for 7-week production run from the weeks of July 4th through the weeks of October 9th. So improved hybrid mix and also improved trailer tow hitch volume. So now might be the time to think about putting that trailer hitch because this is your last chance, right? We have 7 right now. We might get more, but we have 7 allocations. So Ford did give us some. I'm not sure why they gave us a donut last month, but we're getting 7. So there you go. And again, more than what they gave us as an estimate. Or they didn't say, they said it wasn't an estimate, that it was, this is your number, and still we're going to end up with more allocations than the number they gave us. So anyway, but that's all I'll say about that. F-150 order banks are open up. They are going to be scheduling for a 5-week production run the weeks of July 31st through August 28th. And hybrid is on regional control. This is for KC region, by the way. So every region could be different. And the Kansas City assembly plant is going to be down the weeks of July 31st and August 7th. So certain colors are made there and certain motors are made there. So it just depends on what you have scheduled or what you have ordered could affect that. Transit Connect van and wagon order banks are closed. They are going to be scheduling for the weeks in September, the month of September, I should say. And eTransit is the order banks are open because they need eTransit orders. They are scheduling for September build dates as well. And then the transit, the only order bank, the order bank that's open for transit is only for Transit Trail. So every other transits, it's closed. They're going to be scheduling for September build dates, and then really the same constraints. It does say power sliding doors will be available in late August. There we go. That's been limited. 3.5 EcoBoost engine has low availability. Consider removing or switching, really. And then the PowerPoint plug still is constrained, and the 360 camera is still constrained. So there we go. That's information for next month. So again, that probably won't start to the week of the 10th, and I wouldn't guarantee that. It could be the week after. We'll talk about those of you that are saying, well, what do I do on my Maverick order and Super Duty order? We'll talk about that in just a little bit.